How to calculate body fat using Skinfold calipers.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to do a caliper test, or what's called a skinfold test. And what you do is you use one of these, right? You can get them online. You can go to my website, right? And right below this video you can see the link to buy one. And these are from Slim Guy. They're pretty good. This one's really old, so what I do, right, is that I measure my bicep first, and I just stretch out my arm. Look, stretch out my arm, and I pinch, and it measures about 3. All right, so it's actually probably lower than that, but that's the lowest this is gonna measure. So if you measure 3, right, then you know pretty much that your skin is pretty much elastic. There's no fat there, right? So that's why I always like to start. And if it measures 2, then you know 2 is your lowest. So your goal should be to try to get as low as whatever your lowest body part is, right? And for me, my bicep, and for most people, the bicep will be the lowest body fat, um, lowest part of the body that has the least fat. So, all right, so let's start with that. So, I don't have a calculator. If you have a calculator, you would put it down and you would add up every single measurement. But since I don't have a calculator, I'm gonna write it down. So bicep, right? 3. The tricep facing this way so you can read the number. Just stretch out your arm. Look at it, and it measures about 4.5, more or less. So do it twice, right? Measure 5. So I'm gonna go with 5, and if you notice, I measure right here, right above the elbow. So remember, above the elbow, nice easy pinch. All right, so 5. Okay, at the chest, right? I mean, if you're flexible, you can grab it right here and just pinch, right? And it measures about 5.5, right? So I like to stretch, I grab, right? And if you don't have any fat, it should be easy. You should be able to just grab about an inch, inch and a half apart, and then just pinch in, right? And then you just pinch, measures about 5. And I pinch, right? Right in the middle, right in the middle. Don't pinch too low, because then you're gonna grab skin if you pinch too low. But if you pinch right in the middle of the vertical, it should be all right. So it's 5. Your mid axillary. So your mid axillary is right under the armpit. So I really can't pinch there, right? So I just get a nice little. I let the skin fold slide, right? So just go boop, slide about 4 3/4, 4.5. Right. Do it again. About 4 3/4. So I'm gonna measure that 5 as well. I'm just gonna go with 5. Right. Then I go with a love handle. So love handle, right? Right on the side, right? So away from your hip, right on the side where the love handles are. Right. Same thing. Right. You grab, stretch, and pinch. About 7.5. Right. So grab, pinch, and lift. I'm gonna call it about 7.5. Right. Then abdominal, belly button. So right here says your belly button. Same thing. You put your thumb right next to your belly button, and then about this line right here, right through the oblique line right here. Same thing. Grab, pinch, and pull, and you measure. Right. Measure about 5. Right. So definitely could be lower. About 5. Then below, right? So my below is right here. So and I go at a horizontal. So I grab, pinch, and pull. Right? Grab, pinch, and pull. Pinch it. Measures about 5 as well. Right? Do it twice. Mm-hmm. 4.5, 5. So I'm gonna go with 5. Your suprailiac, right, is kind of like in the oblique line, right? You go here and you pinch, right, and you pull. So you grab, pull, and you pinch. about 5.5, 5.25. I'm gonna say 5.25. So I'm gonna say 5 as well. Right. Then your thigh. Right. What I like to do with my thigh is that I like to go pinky and I extend my thumb as far as I can, and pretty much that's what I'm gonna measure. And if you're lean, you're gonna be able to see a little line right here. So this muscle right here, right, the quad, and I just find that muscle from there on. But if not, just boom, extend, grab, pinch, right, and you measure 6.5. Okay, so do it again, right from the kneecap, pinky, extend, right. I can flex, right, same thing, grab it. 7. So let's go with 7. I don't want to go 6.5, so I'm gonna go with 7. And then my calf, you can put your foot somewhere on top, right? But if you can't, just grab it, right? Make sure that make sure that your calf is not flexed, then it's gonna be hard to grab. But just nice, easy grab, right? And just let it slide. Measures 4, right? So, right, so boom, right on the side of the calf, right here, right? So boom, put, pin, pull, push, right? Measure about 4. So grab, push, and pull. Right, so I measure around 4. Okay. So, alright guys, so what you would do right next is that you would get all those measurements and you're gonna add them up. Right? When you add them up, all the measurements, you divide by your body weight. So today I weighed 178 pounds, right? And then I multiply that by 27, and it should give me my body fat. So I don't have my calculator right now. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do the math, and then I'm gonna come right back. All right. All right, guys. So after you do your body fat, you calipers, right, and you wrote down everything, right? If you need to write everything down. So the math is simple, right? So you add up all those numbers, right? Your bicep, tricep, chest, whatever. You add it all up, right? Which for me gave me a total of 51.5, and I'm gonna divide that by my weight, right? So if I was to, use USA math, 51.5 divided by 178 pounds, right? It's going to give you a number, right? Some kind of decimal, right? And then whatever that decimal is, right? 0.0, blah, blah, whatever it is, right? It's going to give you a number, and you're going to multiply that number times 27. And that's going to give you your body fat. So when I did the math, right? 51 divided by 178, whatever number that was, times 27, my body fat read was 7.8, right? And as I've mentioned before, it is not accurate, okay? It's not, you're not gonna be like, oh my god, that's my body fat. No, it's not, okay? It's a good guide. In reality, I wouldn't even recommend doing this, because if you're a girl, it's almost impossible for you to be to 7.8% body fat, right? But if you weigh 178 pounds like I do, but even if you weigh 130 pounds, right? If a guy weighs 130 pounds, technically he has less body fat because he doesn't have breasts, right? But that's not the point. The point is that this is only a guide, so that whenever you have to prepare for a competition, you know more or less where you stand. So if you know that you look really good with these measurements, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, you look really good and you're happy with that, then that's what you shoot for, right? But if you notice that you're about 4 weeks out, you still need to put in 4 weeks of work, hard work, to get where you want, this is a good guide. So next time that you prep, when you're at this point, you're about 4 weeks out to look your best. So use it as a guide. Don't have a heart attack, and just keep working hard, and you'll get it. All right. So if you have any questions, guys, go to my Instagram and ask me the questions there. Bye. Hey, what's up, guys? Let me go into a little bit more details about the Skinfold. So as you saw how I measured, you saw how I calculated the measurements, and let's talk about that. Right. So just so you guys know, right? Again, the Skinfold, all it does, it's measuring basically the fat between your skin, right? So when you pinch, right, it's the skin
and then you have fat. So if you have no fat, basically your skin, it's see-through. It's almost like plastic. It's elastic. There's nothing in between two pieces of skin. Like when you pull it in between those two little pieces of skin, there's nothing there. So the lower your body fat, right, the less you have of that. So the Skinfold, what does measures how many millimeters there is between both skins. So the higher the millimeter, the more fat there is in between, you know. And so technically, guys, that's how you measure that. So for example, so on my scale I showed you guys, right, with my Skinfold caliper, I showed you that I had 3 millimeters on my biceps. So that's the least, that's about as low as it's gonna get, right? So if you can measure 3 millimeters all over your body, I mean, you are lean, like extremely lean, right? And then for women and women in general, you're gonna get the exact same results. The only difference is, remember, it's on body weight. So if a woman weighs 130 pounds, her body fat is gonna measure a little bit higher. But if a guy weighed 130 pounds, it'd be the exact same result, right? Even though the guy technically has less body fat because he doesn't have breasts, he doesn't have whatever, right? So basically, it's not like if it measures 6% body fat, that doesn't mean you are 6% body fat. You would have to go and get a DEXA scan to be perfect, to be exact on the money, right? This is only a guide, so you can gauge, you know, where you need to be, you know, when you look your best. So if I look really good, right, and I love the way I look right now, the measurements that I took today, that's my baseline. That's where I want to be, whatever weeks out I'm at. So if I know that this is how I want to look, those are the measurements that I want 2 to 3 weeks out for my contest. If I'm happy with that look, right? But if I'm not happy with that look, then I know I need to go better. I need to do better. I need to lower my body fat even more. So it's just a milestone, let's say, right? So next time, let's say you compete, and then your next competition is next year, right? When you're 2 to 3 weeks out, right? Those are the measurements you want, right? If you're happy with that look. If not, then you gotta push a little bit harder and get to where you wanna be until you're happy, and then you're gonna use those measurements as your guidelines, right, guys? So again, right, it's not, don't be like, oh my God, it's exactly what I need to be. No, it's just a guide, all right? So take your measurements, monitor it, and reach your goals, all right? That's all it is about Skinfolds, all right? So I hope that helps, and I hope it's a good guide for you. And remember, guys, if you can't pinch, if you have a difficult time getting that skin and pulling it, right, and stretching it, it means there's a lot of body fat. So eliminate that point until you're able to do it, right? Until you're able to pinch and pull, all right? That's when you know your body fat's getting to where you need to be, all right? So, all right, guys, that's about it.